The galaxy was quiet. No wars, no warnings. No one had spoken Earth's name in over 50 years. In the outer rim of Sector 19X, an alien scout ship moved slowly. It was small, light, and silent, perfect for spying. Inside, Lieutenant Vora of the Zeltar Empire stared at the screen. His 4 eyes blinked fast. Something strange was moving in the black void. "We have a contact," he whispered. The captain leaned forward. "What kind of contact?" Vora didn't answer at first. His screen glitched. The ship was too big, too old, too human. I think it's a Terran ship, ... The captain laughed. "Impossible. Earth is dead." But the ship on the screen was real. It moved like a shadow. It had no lights, no signal, no ID code, just a single name burned into its hull. ISV to TNUS. The news spread fast. Within hours, 3 alien governments had picked up the signal. Spies, hackers, and old war veterans all asked the same question. How is this ship still alive? 50 years ago, Earth had lost the Galactic War. Its fleets were crushed. Its cities were burned. The last message Earth sent was, "We asked for peace. You gave us fire." After that, silence. Everyone thought Earth had been wiped out. But now, something had returned. On board the ISV Teutonis, Captain Rhea stood at the front of the bridge. She wore black armor with Earth's broken flag stitched on her shoulder. Her eyes were calm, but her voice was cold. "Are systems stable?" she asked. Her AI named Sola replied, "Engines ready. Cloak at 97%. "Weapons online," Rhea nodded. "Good." We entered the border at 0400 hours. Behind her, the crew remained silent. Some were soldiers, some were not. But all of them had one thing in common. They had seen Earth fall, they had survived. Now they were here to show the galaxy what Earth had become. In the galactic capital, panic began. The High Council called an emergency meeting. Holograms of generals and leaders appeared across a glowing table. "We don't understand," one leader said. "This ship shouldn't exist." Another shouted, "Is this a threat? A ghost? A trick?" Only one figure remained quiet. Admiral Koshin of the Vrak Dominion. He had fought in the war against Earth. He had seen the old ships. He remembered the name, Titanus. "It's not a ghost," Koshin said. "That ship was Earth's final prototype. It disappeared before the last battle. We thought it was destroyed." A younger alien general laughed. "Even if it survived, one ship cannot start a war." Koshin leaned forward, his voice dark. "You don't understand. Humans, they don't start wars with numbers. They start them with purpose." Meanwhile, near the border of the Forbidden Zone, 3 patrol cruisers moved to intercept the Teutonis. They sent messages. They gave warnings. "Unknown vessel, identify yourself. This is restricted space. Turn back or we will fire." But the Titanus said nothing. No reply, no movement, just slow forward drift like a predator stalking its prey. The alien ships aimed their weapons. Then, without warning, a single beam of blue light fired from the Tithans. It didn't destroy it. Disabled. Each alien ship went dark in seconds. Engines dead, lights out, no sound. Inside one of the crippled ships, a pilot cried out. It didn't kill us. It just wanted to show us. Back in the capital, the footage played across secret networks. The image was blurry but terrifying. A massive black ship, shaped like a dagger, moving through space like a ghost. Its engines glowed with old Terran energy, unstable, ancient, and forbidden. A message followed, not from a person, from the ship itself. It played across all star frequencies. No flags, no peace, only the tightness. In the dark, the stars began to listen. Old enemies remembered Earth's fury. Younger generations asked, who were the Terrans? But those who had fought them, who had seen Earth's final stand, felt something cold in their bones, because they remembered a simple truth. When humans go silent, it means they are preparing to roar. The stars were still shaking. 3 patrol ships had gone dark. No deaths, no explosions, just silence. And in that silence, one name echoed again and again. Titanus. The galaxy thought it had seen the worst. They were wrong, because the Titanus was not alone. On the outer edge of the Veltron system, a long-range telescope caught a shape in the void. No lights, no signal, no movement. But it was there, floating like a forgotten relic. Its metal was rusted, its hull cracked. But it was huge, bigger than any ship in the galactic registry. Alien analysts tried to scan it, but scanners failed. Databases returned nothing. Then, one old war historian gasped, "That design, it's from the pre-fall era. Like that should be flying." Aboard the Titaness, Captain Rhea watched the data feed. The second ship had arrived exactly as planned. She nodded once. Sola waked the others. The AI responded calmly. Sleeping fleets now reactivating. Ghost protocol initiated. In the deep space behind Titaness, something began to stir. From asteroid fields, from old ship graveyards, from dead moons, they came. One by one, slowly, quietly. Old human ships, burned, scarred, abandoned for decades. But now, they moved again like ghosts, answering a call. Across the galaxy, fear spread like wildfire. On trade stations, people whispered. On military planets, soldiers loaded their guns. On homeworlds, mothers told children stories about the old Earth ships, ships that didn't speak, didn't stop, and didn't lose. The Galactic Council held a second emergency meeting. An angry alien governor shouted, "Where are these ships coming from?" A scientist replied, "We are detecting ancient Terran signal codes. These vessels were thought destroyed in the war." Another general asked, "Why come back now? Why after 50 years?" There was no answer. Only Admiral Koshin spoke softly, "Because now they want us to see them before they strike." On a coal mining world, a young boy stared at the sky. He saw stars moving in strange patterns. His father said, "Ignore it, just old junk flying again." But the boy whispered, "No, that's a formation." He was right. Across the sector, the Ghost Fleet was forming. They weren't attacking. They were gathering, waiting, watching, back aboard the Titaness. One of the new officers spoke nervously, "Captain, why now? Why not strike already?" Rhea turned it, her voice low but sharp. "We are not here for revenge, not yet." The officer looked confused. "Then what are we doing?" Rhea walked to the main viewing window. Beyond the stars, dozens of human ships now drifted in formation, forming a silent wall of steel, she said. "We are reminding them that we never left." Meanwhile, a pirate fleet in the Krell Belt got a signal, a strange, old-style human broadcast. No message, just static. Their leader, Captain Gore, laughed. "Humans, after all this time, let's go collect some trophies." The pirates chased the signal. Within minutes, they found a dark, silent Tarun ship. No lights, no heat, dead, or so they thought, as their ships surrounded it. The Terran ship lit up one engine flare. Then two, its cannons turned slowly. The pirates didn't even have time to scream. Footage from the destroyed pirate fleet spread online. Now, no one was laughing. Galactic citizens demanded answers. Is this war? Who controls these ships? Why won't Earth speak? But Earth said nothing. Only one message kept repeating across the stars. We are the silence between your heartbeats. We are the fire beneath your cold peace. In the council chamber, panic turned to desperation. Some leaders wanted to attack Earth's fleet now, others wanted peace talks. But no one knew how to contact them because Earth wasn't sending diplomats, they were sending memories. And memories cannot be negotiated. In a secret chamber, deep below the Titaness, sealed in black armor, an old man opened his eyes. His body was weak, but his mind was still burning. To Rhea, and whispered, "Has the galaxy remembered us?" She nodded. They remember the name, but not the cost. He stood slowly. Then let them remember. The Galactic Council finally broke. Too many ships had been lost. Too many signals jammed. Too many people were afraid to even look at the stars. And Earth still said nothing. So the leaders did what they always did. In fear, they sent a peace envoy. A golden diplomatic vessel was launched from the capital world of Oryx Prime. It was fast, unarmed, marked with every peace flag in the galaxy. Inside were 12 ambassadors, one from each major species, all trained in negotiation, all dressed in white robes. They believed in words, they believed in mercy, they believed Earth would listen. They were wrong. The peace vessel approached the last known location of the ISV Titan US. No weapons were locked, no warnings were given, just silence. The lead ambassador opened comes. This is a peaceful mission. We request a dialogue. Please respond. Nothing. Again he spoke. We come in peace. The Council wishes to understand Earth's return. Still nothing. They tried one last time. That's when a reply finally came. Not from a human, but from the ship itself in a voice made of static, metal, and ancient rage. It said, "You remembered us only when you feared us. There is no peace without justice." Suddenly, the stars around the peace ship shifted. Dozens of Terran warships uncloaked, silent, still. Watching, watching the envoy panicked. "Do not attack, we are unarmed." No shots were fired. Instead, the ship's engines died, power cut, communications dropped. They were left adrift, not destroyed, not harmed, just erased. Hours later, the ship floated back into Council space on its own, empty, no crew. Only a message burned into its hull with plasma fire. They didn't listen when we begged. Now they will listen when we roar. Across the galaxy, panic turned to terror. Markets crashed. Militaries locked down. Old war bunkers reopened. Children were kept inside. But the humans still didn't attack. They just kept appearing, one ship at a time, closer to core worlds. Old Terran carriers, broken mechs, forgotten drones, all waking up again in a hidden lab on Sarkanine. A scientist stared at Data in horror. "We thought they were dead," he whispered, "but they were sleeping." Next to him, an old AI blinked to life. It spoke one word: reclamation. On the bridge of the Titanus, Captain Rhea stood in silence. Behind her, the stars flickered. Her AI Sola spoke, "Enemy fleets preparing defense lines near Sector 8. Rhea didn't blink. "Let them prepare," another officer asked. "Why didn't we destroy the envoy?" Rhea looked at her crew. Her voice was low, steady. "Because the galaxy still believes this is a game, a negotiation." She paused. "But the next time someone sends words instead of truth, we end them." The Council tried again. This time, they sent warships. 20 destroyers, 5 battleships. Each crew ordered to stand ground but not engage. They found the Titanus in open space. Its weapons offline, its engines cold, a trap or an offer. The lead battleship hailed the Titan, US don't know answer. They moved closer. The Titanus suddenly powered up, not weapons, but something else. A pulse, it spread across space like a wave of thunder, and then everything stopped. All 25 ships froze, mid-movement, engines, dead shields, gone. Their systems were intact, but something deeper had been shut off. Their will to fight, back at the Council chamber. The footage made everyone silent. A new message, followed this time from Earth itself. A human face, an old man, pale skin, cold eyes. He said, "You gave us fire. You gave us exile. You gave us silence. Now we return that silence to you, louder than your screams." The screen flickered off, and then a new signal lit up on every planetary system. Fleet was now within striking distance. A final emergency vote was held. Should the Council surrender? Should they offer Earth full independence? Some said yes, but the older ones remembered Earth's words: no flags, no peace. The strongest general stood and said, "Earth is not asking for peace. They are waiting for us to beg." Back in deep space, inside a quiet room on the Titanus, Captain Rhea sat alone. She looked at a cracked photo in her hand, an old image. A family lost long ago in the war. She whispered to herself, "We asked for mercy. They gave us silence." Then she stood and said the words that changed the stars forever: "Begin the reclamation." The stars had changed. Trade ships avoided deep space. Patrol fleets stayed close to home. Even the bravest bounty hunters shut off their engines. Why? Because Earth's ships were moving again, and no one knew how many there were. In the shadows of the Dirax Nebula, a single cargo ship floated in silence. Inside, a young alien smuggler named Kiv watched an old holotape, fuzzy video, shaky camera, a human ship, black, damaged, glowing red from inside, tearing through 10 cruisers like paper dot. No sound, just death. His hands trembled. They said Earth was gone, he whispered. His crewmate nodded. They lied. Across the galaxy, whispers turned into warnings. Refugees from outer colonies told the same story. The stars went dark. We saw ships with no names. They watched us and left. They weren't attacking everyone. They were choosing. But no one knew why. In a dark room on a warship orbiting an old general gave a secret interview. The camera stayed in shadows. His voice cracked with memory. "I was there," he said. 50 years ago, I saw Earth's last defense line. It was broken, crushed." He paused, but they never begged, never asked for help. They looked at us with silence, and then they vanished. The reporter asked, "Did you see the tightness?" The general nodded slowly. "I saw it burn, and I saw it survive." In the Galactic Council, tension turned to blame. "You started the war." One leader shouted, "Double quotes, no! You refused their peace offer," yelled another. "Doesn't matter now," said the Vrak admiral. "They're back, and they are not the same." They played the footage again of the envoy ship returned empty, of fleets shut down without a shot, of pirate clans vanished without trace. Earth was not attacking like before. This was different. This was cold, controlled, calculated, on board. The ISV Titaness Captain Rhea walked the central war deck. Screens showed dozens of human ships in motion. Old destroyers, refitted mechs, even deep space sleeper drones, all reactivated. The fleet was not huge, but it was terrifying because it was quiet, too quiet. "Status of Ghost Fleet?" she asked. "Sola," the AI answered. "Positioning complete, Phase 2 ready." A young officer asked, "What if the Council surrenders?" Rhea paused, then said, "They won't, not yet. They still believe we want a seat at their table." She looked at the stars. "But we're not here to join them. We're here to remind them." Meanwhile, on a far moon near the edge of the galaxy, a small alien family hid in a bunker. They had once lived on a trade station that refused to help Earth during the Old War. Last week, the station vanished. Not destroyed, gone. No debris, no signals, only a message etched into the rock. Nearby, we remember. Back in Council territory, a broadcast interrupted all networks, not from Earth, from someone else. A former alien admiral once, a hero in the war against Earth, he spoke to the people directly. "You were told lies. We didn't win the war. We ended it with a betrayal. Earth begged for peace. We offered them weapons instead. Now they return, not to destroy everything, but to show what happens when you forget your own crimes." In secret rooms, a few alien leaders met. Without permission, a rebel commander said, What if we help Earth?" Another replied, "Treason." But the commander leaned in close. "No, truth. We were the monsters. They just finally became better at being silent." As the tension grew, Earth's fleet made its first major move. Surrounded the planet Neuraxis Prime, a former Council military base. No shots fired, no invasion, just orbit. Then the message came. This planet was used to launch fire against Earth. Its commanders have 24 hours to surrender. Civilians will not be harmed. Panic broke out. Shuttles tried to escape, but Earth's ships didn't shoot them down. They let them run, because they weren't here for the innocent. They were here for those who gave the order to burn. Earth, on the surface. One old general stood outside alone, staring up at the sky. He whispered to no one. They waited 50 years, not for revenge, but for understanding. Back on the Titaness, Sola spoke softly. Message from inner colonies. Some alien worlds are lowering their weapons, asking for talks. Rhea didn't smile. "Too late for talks," she said. "We asked for peace, they gave us war." The final scene of this part shows the Ghost Fleet shifting again, heading toward the central capital worlds of the Council. The last words spoken are from a recording. Found in an abandoned base, we thought they were gone, but they were just in the dark. Becoming something we can no longer fight. The galaxy had no more time to wait. Earth's ships were closing in on the central systems. The Council had begged. Then they had threatened. Now they gathered their greatest weapon, the Grand Armada. From 12-star nations came fleets, dreadnoughts, Vrakian flame cruisers, Solarian AI bombers, Grawl Hothbone swarms over 500 warships, armed with the deadliest tech in the galaxy, were called to one location, Sector 7G, the broken stars named after an ancient battlefield where hundreds of stars were damaged in an old war. Now, it would burn again. Inside the command ship Imperial Glory, Admiral Shore looked over the holomap. "We outnumber them," he said. A captain replied, "Their lead ship is alone." Still no sign of support fleets. Shore smiled. "Then we end. This before Earth dares to speak again." He turned to his crew. "This is not a war. This is a warning. We remind Earth they are dust, but far ahead, the ISV Titanus waited alone, its weapons offline, its hull quiet, but inside." The crew moved with purpose. Captain Rhea stood in front of a black terminal marked Project. "Trident, is the system ready?" she asked. "Sola," the AI responded. "All systems green. Ghost fleet cloaked. Awaiting your word." She looked toward the screen showing the enemy fleet. Her voice was soft, cold. "Let's show them what Earth became in the dark." The battle began like thunder. Alien fleets opened fire with everything: lasers, plasma bolts, nanite storms, missile clouds. All aimed at the Titanus. It should have been destroyed in seconds. But then, something impossible happened. The Titanus split. Its main hull cracked open like a seed, and from inside, two sister ships emerged, perfectly hidden inside its structure. One shaped like a blade, one shaped like a shield. The Trident formation had activated. Now there were 3 Earth flagships, each one built to break fleets. Trident 1, direct assault. Trident 2, signal jammer and EMP core. Trident 3, long-range defense and reflection shield. Panic filled the enemy command. They had 3 ships. They were hiding inside one. Admiral Shore shouted, "Regroup! Change formation," but it was too late. The Ghost fleet arrived. Cloaked human ships began uncloaking around the battlefield from asteroids. Behind moons, even inside nebula clouds. They weren't many, but each one was deadly, and they all moved with perfect timing. Like a knife sliding between ribs, the Titanus didn't fire first. Instead, Trident 2 released a wide EMP pulse. Half the enemy fleet went. Blind dot shields fell, navigation failed, then Trident 1 moved like lightning, cutting through 3 cruisers in one pass. No mercy. No hesitation. The enemy tried to push back. Zeltar dreadnoughts fired sunbeams. Grolhoth swarms tried to overwhelm with numbers, but Earth's counter was brutal. Old wartech combined with new stealth, plasma nets trapped entire enemy wings, hacked. AI drones turned on their own fleets. Some council ships even stopped fighting, confused, overwhelmed, scared. One Vrakian captain whispered on open comms, "This is not war, this is judgment." In the command ship, Admiral Shore stared in disbelief. His fleet was collapsing. "Where are their numbers? Where is the rest of Earth's army?" he yelled. And AI replied coldly, "This is the army, and they are not fighting for victory. They are fighting for memory." On the Titanus bridge, Captain Rhea remained calm. "Sola, final message to all channels." Sola transmitted, "This battle was your choice. We showed you mercy once. You answered with fire. Now we burn the sky so you never forget." By the end of the battle, 380 enemy ships were destroyed. 90 disabled, the rest fled. Earth lost only 12 vessels, but none of them asked for help. None retreated. They fought until their last spark. The broken stars now had a new name, the Grave of Empires in the Aftermath. Silent distress calls echoed across the galaxy. No reply came, not from the Council, not from the survivors. Only one signal kept repeating from Earth's side. Reclamation continues. Resistance is memory loss, and we remember everything. The war was not over, but the stars had gone. Quiet again. After the Battle of Broken Stars, most fleets ran, most governments hid, and most people began to whisper. Across the galaxy, strange things began happening. On a farming planet in Sector 12, a little alien girl woke up screaming. She said she dreamed of Earth burning, of fire falling from the sky, of voices calling for help, but she had never even heard of Earth before. On a military world, an old general sat alone in the dark. He held a human medal, one he took as a trophy 50 years ago. Now it glowed faintly, and whispered, "We asked for peace." The general dropped it in fear, but the voice stayed in his mind, in hidden labs. Scientists noticed something worse. Earth's signals were growing, not louder, but deeper. Old Terran tech, buried for decades, was waking up on its own. Ruins lit up. Dead satellites moved again. AI units, long shut down, began speaking in Earth's old code. One machine said, "The reclamation is not a fleet. It is a memory virus." On the bridge of the Titanus, Captain Rhea watched the data screens. Worlds were changing, but Earth wasn't attacking. She turned to her crew. "They're afraid," she said, "but not of our ships. They're afraid of the truth." Back in the Galactic Council's secret archive, historians dug up old sealed records. One file was labeled, "Terra, Peace Offer Rejected." They played the recording. It showed Earth's leaders tired, wounded, but still dignified. They begged for unity. They asked for shared power. They offered technology, even healing nays. But the council laughed. One alien diplomat said, "Why would we share peace with dirtwalkers?" Another added, "Let Earth burn. It is too proud." That file had been hidden for 50 years now. It leaked to the entire galaxy. Billions watched. Billions realized Earth had not started the war. Earth had begged for peace. On neutral planets, protests began. We were lied to. They made us monsters. Artists painted human ships on walls. Children wore Earth's old flag. A cracked blue planet surrounded by fire. But others still feared. They said, "Earth is tricking us." They want sympathy before the kill. They are not heroes. They are ghosts. And the ghosts kept coming. In deep space, more Earth ships appeared. Not warships, but hospital vessels. Repair drones, message satellites. They didn't fire. They healed broken stations. They fixed old ships. They even rescued alien pilots lost in space. Some aliens whispered, "Maybe Earth wants something different now." But others said, "No, this is the calm before the storm." Meanwhile, on a silent moon orbiting a dead star, something ancient woke up. A machine shaped like a black tower slowly opened. Inside it was a message from the first Earth AI, built 100 years ago. It said only one thing. They called U.S. savages. Now we teach them silence. In the council chambers, fear turned to desperation. One leader shouted, "Earth is rewriting history." Another yelled, "They're infecting our children's dreams." Admiral Koshin stood slowly, his voice calm. "No," he said, "they are not rewriting history. They are making sure we don't hide it again." Inside the Titanus, Solar reported new signals to alien colonies wish to speak. They offer surrender, not with weapons, but with truth. Captain Rhea said nothing for a long time. Then she replied, "Accept their message. No threats. Number war," her officer asked. "Captain, are we really seeking peace now?" Rhea looked at the stars, her voice cold. "We are seeking balance." But far away, in a hidden corner of the galaxy, an ancient alien AI built long before the Council even existed. Activated, it had watched the Terran fall. It had waited now. It sent one signal across the stars. Earth is not revenge. Earth is evolution. In the final moments of this part, we see children across different worlds drawing Earth ships. In their drawings, Earth ships are always surrounded by broken chains and burning stars. One child says to another, "They didn't come to destroy us. They came because they remember everything we forgot." The stars above the galactic throne world were quiet, but everyone could feel it. Something was coming. Shuttles left the capital cities. Children were hidden in underground shelters. Military leaders stared at the skies like they expected fire to fall, and then it happened. First came the signal. Not sound, not light, just pressure. Thousands of ships in the orbit of the throne world felt their systems freeze. Then came the visuals. From deep space, Earth's fleet arrived, not in chaos, not in war, but in formation. Hundreds of human ships, silent and perfectly aligned, now floated above the capital world. They didn't fire, they didn't speak, they simply waited. On board the Titanus, Captain Rhea stood at full attention. Sola, the AI, spoke softly. "We are in position. Council defense grid is locked. They're expecting a first strike." Rhea didn't blink. Let them wait. In the council chamber, chaos ruled. Every screen showed Earth ships above them. Some leaders screamed, "Attack before they do." Others whispered, "No, they want us to strike first." Admiral Koshin stood in silence. He had fought Earth. He had survived Earth, and now he watched as Earth stood still, calm, patient, terrifying. "They are here," he said, "not as soldiers, but as judges." In a small village on the throne world's surface, a child looked up. She saw the sky covered in strange black ships. She wasn't scared. She asked her mother, "Are they here to hurt us?" The mother couldn't answer, because the truth was, no one knew. Aboard the Titaness, Earth's final message was being prepared. It wasn't a declaration of war. It wasn't a demand. It was a reminder. One officer asked, "Captain, do we attack now?" Rhea looked at the stars, so full of silence, so full of lies. "No," she said. "We let them speak first, if they still know how." The council finally sent a transmission. The high voice of the galaxy appeared on all screens. His hands were shaking. His voice cracked. "People of Earth, we admit past mistakes, but this must stop now. There are children down here, families, worlds who had no part in your pain." He took a deep breath. "We beg for peace." The screen went black. Everyone waited for Earth's reply. 1 minute, 5, 10. Nothing. Then finally, the Titaness sent one message. Peace was an option. 50 years ago now, we demand truth. Suddenly, a new ship appeared. One no one had seen before. Dark gray, round, alive. It didn't look like a warship. It looked ancient. On board, it was a vault. Inside that vault were records, proof of the Council's lies. Evidence of how Earth's peace offers were rejected. Files that showed how Earth's downfall was planned not in battle, but in secret rooms. Now the galaxy would see everything. All screens on the throne world changed, leaked files, video, audio, testimonies. Billions. Watched in silence, they saw how Earth begged. They saw how Earth was mocked. They saw how Earth's cities burned, while the Council watched and smiled. On the ground, citizens screamed. Not in fear of Earth, but in rage against their own leaders. Protests began. Council. Guards turned against their commanders. Old veterans threw away their medals, and in the skies. Earth's fleet still did not move on the Titaness. A younger officer whispered, "Captain, they're tearing themselves apart." Rhea nodded slowly. "We didn't come to rule them. We came to show them who they really are." One alien leader broadcast a message. "To Earth, we believe you now. We were blind. Tell us what you want." For the first time, Rhea smiled. She walked to the main screen, and she said, "We want nothing. Keep your worlds, keep your stars. But remember this, Earth is not weak anymore. If you raise your weapons again, even once, we will not return to remind you. We will return to erase you." The Titaness powered its engines, so did the rest of the Earth fleet. Not to attack, to leave. No one could believe it. After all the fear, after all the buildup, Earth was walking away. But before they left, Earth sent one final signal, a message encoded into the stars themselves. It appeared on every screen, every sky. "This is not the beginning of peace. This is the end of silence. We are the last scream of the forgotten. And we are watching." The fleet vanished into deep space, like a shadow retreating from fire. But their presence remained in dreams, in history, in the sky. On the surface, that same little girl asked her mother, "Did they forgive us?" The mother whispered, "No, but they spared us." The war was over. Not with explosions, not with victory songs, but with truth and silence. Earth's fleet had vanished into deep space. No one knew where they went. No one dared to follow. All that remained was the memory of burning stars, of ships that moved like ghosts, of a voice that said, "We asked for peace, you gave us fire. Now we are fire." Months passed. The Galactic Council collapsed. Protests turned into revolutions. Old leaders were removed. New voices rose, ones who spoke of unity, not control. But no one forgot what had happened, because every planet now carried Earth's mark, fear, and respect, on a trade world once used to launch bombs at Earth. A statue was raised, not of a soldier, not of a ship, but of a cracked Earth globe surrounded by stars. Half on fire, half glowing. The base read, "To the ones who remembered, when we forgot." In deep space, a ship drifted alone. Aboard was an old scientist named Velik. He had once helped design weapons against Earth. Now he spent his days collecting stories, not from books, but from whispers, whispers of old Earth. He recorded voices, a child dreaming of human voices singing in the void. A former pirate claiming a Terran drone saved his crew. An old AI found on a dead world repeating one sentence, "Mercy is not weakness. Mercy is choice." Even though Earth had left, they had not been forgotten. In fact, now they were everywhere. Painted on walls, written in songs, taught in history classes, one small colony, once loyal to the Council, changed its flag. Their leader said, "We do not raise Earth's flag, we raise the memory of what Earth became. A mirror we must never fear again." Back on Earth, hidden, silent, wounded people watched not from pride, but from careful distance. Captain Rhea stood on a hill of black glass, where one of Earth's cities had once burned. Beside her stood the old man from the Titanus, the last architect of the reclamation plan, he asked. "They beg for peace now. Do we answer?" Rhea didn't speak at first. She looked at the broken land, now growing small green flowers again. Then she said, "Not yet. Let them live with truth. Let them rebuild their hearts. Only when they no longer fear us will we speak." In a quiet system on the edge of the galaxy, a new council formed, not built on power, but on memory. Every year they held a moment of silence, not for Earth's dead, but for Earth's patience. One alien speaker said, "They didn't conquer. US, they corrected us." But not all forgot the fear. Some still prepared weapons, some still whispered, "They'll return with fire again." And maybe they were right, because one day, far into the future, a strange signal appeared. It came from the edge of known space, a repeating code for words. No emotion, no threat, just a quiet warning. We are still watching. On Earth, in a rebuilt, underground command center, young recruits trained. They wore no medals. They shouted no slogans. They simply remembered. One instructor said, "We don't fight to win. We fight so we never have to roar again." And so ends the tale. Not of revenge, not of war, but of a people who refused to stay silent. A people who remembered everything. A people who once begged for peace, and then became something the galaxy could never forget.